Continue to track the very latest on the disappearance and search for Nancy Guthrie as we reach 33 days since she was taken from her home. In a new development,
it has now been over 1 month since Nancy Guthrie was abducted out of her home on February 1st of 2026, and it doesn't seem like we're much closer to finding the perpetrators responsible. So in today's video, we're going to go over two major clues: the Wi-Fi jammer and the tattoo on the suspect's wrist. As we can see in this video here, people have noticed that there is some kind of tattoo under the wrist, but what kind of tattoo is it? And I believe I have a good idea of what it could be, so we'll go over that and more in today's video. Welcome back. You are now watching The Mob Crew.
and today marks day 33 in the search for the 84-year-old. A new development today as we learn investigators were back at the house as they searched for more clues into what happened to Nancy Guthrie. All this, as Sheriff Chris Nano says, investigators are going through thousands of hours of video footage from the area. He says they are reviewing traffic camera video near Guthrie's home and ring camera video of a suspect. You've seen it many times from her home the night she was taken.
You know, it could be a cell tower dump, could be analyzing a cell phone.
So there is still digital evidence that you guys are waiting on to receive?
Well, we're analyzing all the time, yes.
We also...
So I've gone over the order of clips and the still image as seen here, where obviously I believe, and I think everybody agrees, the still image clearly came first, and it's a question of whether was this taken approximately 3 hours before this video on the right was recorded, when somebody doesn't have a subscription to the Google Nest camera. It allegedly claims that it can only record in up to 3 hours, and then it rewrites itself. Or was this still frame taken from days prior? There's still no official answer as far as I know, and both of these incidents showed that at the very least this suspect or suspects came at two different times, whether it was two different nights or the same night. And I think this clearly shows, in my opinion, that this person likely had a Wi-Fi jammer, because typically, even if without a subscription, Nancy Guthrie did not only have a phone, but she had an Apple Watch. And usually if there is any kind of motion detected, she should have been alerted, not only on one device but both devices, if she had the app on them. And she wouldn't need a hearing aid to see a text message saying, hey, you had somebody show up on your phone. But clearly she did not get these, or I'm sure the family would have mentioned that, or even law enforcement. And also it comes down to the camera that she had, which she had the Google Nest camera that's battery operated, which is, unfortunately, this camera is one of the most vulnerable cameras that are out there because it's not hardwired, and that's a big issue.
Or even just a video doorbell. Eventually, these guys will pick houses that have a system that can be easily defeated, and a Wi-Fi or a wireless jammer will probably one thing that they will use. And we'll pick houses that have Wi-Fi cameras first. Just knowing the brands or looking at your branded security yard sign or window stickers, which I highly discourage, they already know if you're using Wi-Fi cameras. This is why I'm making this video on how to make your security cameras not susceptible to Wi-Fi jammers. Blink Nest cameras, except for the Nest Cam battery, you're kinda out of luck, because signal jammers will both jam the motion notification and also the recordings from being uploaded to the cloud. So you will not have anything. And as to the Nest Cam battery, it does have an internal storage on the camera itself, that if the Wi-Fi signal is lost, it is still able to record the event. Now, you will not get any notifications, but the recording should be there.
As this expert is saying here, the Nest doorbell battery one will still save the recorded events, but it will not send out anything to an app saying, hey, there was motion detected. When we slow down the video, and I know this has been brought up before, but we can see that there is some kind of what appears to be antenna in his right jacket pocket. But I've also noticed when you look at it from an angle, there is one particular shot that I've discovered, and that shot is right here, and we can see that there is almost a kind of rectangular, almost like a walkie-talkie, which Wi-Fi jammers do kind of look like as well. There's many different models, and there's the antenna that is sticking out, but we can see the device, and it's almost as if the antenna is kind of popping out right here, and then we can see some kind of rectangular device part of it here. We can almost see like the interface of it here, and then if we were to look at the negative, we can see the device here as well as here with the antenna and the rectangular device in his pocket. So now we move on to the tattoo. I know this has been brought up a lot. So here we are with a close-up of the tattoo, and we can see that it's almost kind of a rectangular box, and we see a bit of shadow right here, but we don't see much else except for down here. And then when we look at the negative, we can also see the tattoo again in the negative form here, and we can kind of see how it brightens up a little bit, and it almost appears as if there's something to start just at the sleeve. And in my opinion, if we look at both of these in paint, I think what we're looking at is we're looking at something like this, along with something that's coming out here. But then it also darkens right here in this area. And as we can see over here, although it does kind of look like it cuts over a little bit, I think that may just be kind of the shadowing a little bit. But if we get rid of those and we just take the outline, I think what we're looking at, plus with the shadow, I think it's going to be no surprise that what I believe we're looking at is some kind of cross tattoo. And we're getting almost with a shaded or a 3D kind of tattoo of the cross. And that makes sense of why it's a little bit darker on the right side, just like this, just the opposite way. Here's another good one that would kind of resemble what we may be looking at, where it's the shadow to make it look more 3D-ish, considering where the wrist is at. I think this is towards the head of the cross, and we can almost see, and there's a couple of frames, about 1 or 2 frames, where we can actually see the extension of the other part here. But I think this is the head of the cross, and the shadowing is of something of this sort, kind of a shaded 3D tattoo. and that is what we are looking for, is somebody with possibly a cross tattoo on their bottom right hand wrist. But let me know what you think in the comments down below with the tattoo and the Wi-Fi jammer. Please smash that like button. Please consider subscribing to this channel, and thank you so much for watching.